Hey everybody, this is Katie. I'm going to be doing my regular, it'll be 16 weeks vlog tomorrow, but I wanted to do a special video because I had mentioned, I had mentioned in previous videos that my husband and I have decided not to find out the sex of the baby before it's born, but I never really explained our reasons for that. So I just wanted to share a little bit about some of our reasons and sort of how we came to that decision as a couple. So I think I think everybody makes their own choice. There's so many pregnancy and parenting choices. Everybody just has to make the right one for them. So I'm definitely, not trying to say that nobody should find out, or I think it's great that we have the technology and that's an option. So everybody just has to make their own choice. Another thing is that I always will say finding out the sex rather than using the word gender. I majored in cultural studies, and I've taken too many sociology classes where a distinction was made between sex, meaning biological sex, and gender, which is sort of like the way that people express what usually is their biological sex, or it's sort of like all the cultural stuff laid on top of that. So for me, what you see in an ultrasound is anatomy, and so that's sex. I'm not trying to call anybody out. It's just like I said, I've just had too many classes where that was sort of the distinction. So I know the words are used pretty interchangeably, and to me, like gendered clothing, gender neutral clothing, that kind of stuff, that totally makes sense because that's stuff that reflects who you are. Anyway, okay, so I had sort of always, even growing up, just thought I wouldn't find out the sex of the baby before the birth. I guess just because, I don't know, I liked the idea of having a surprise, and I really liked the idea of, that's been the experience of like most women around the world up until very, very recently, So I just kind of like having the thought of sharing that type of experience with so many people who have come before me. My husband was probably leaning more towards finding out before we really started talking about it. His sister found out for both of her children. She has 2 little girls, and I think he just figured out that makes sense because then you can, buy the stuff that you want to. We briefly discussed one of us finding out and one not finding out, because I have a cousin that did that, and we just said no, for us that would never work. I mean, the whole point would be, to be able to share that and talk and plan together. So what's the point of just having one person know and one person having to keep a secret? Anyway, so for us, what we decided was we're going to wait. The reasons really behind that, first is sort of a practical one. We hope to have more children, and I feel like newborn stuff, it just makes more sense to buy gender neutral newborn things so that you can always use them for future children, and you don't have to worry about it. I think that when the baby is born, right away people will be buying us gender specific stuff. So, and then for the rest of the child's life, So it seems like the basics that you get up front, it makes more sense to just go neutral. I also tend to, I just like the neutral colors. I love babies in yellow. I just think it's the sweetest color. I think white's really, really cute on babies too. Personally, green is one of my favorite colors. And I think that little girls look really cute in like light blue, any kind of blue actually. I think you can pair blue with, with pinks, and it looks really cute. So for me, that wasn't really a hang up. I think the most important thing that we decided as a couple was that we wanted to be able to share that moment, when within the first few minutes of the baby being born, sort of just being able to you know, have it there with us and be able to start discovering who this person is, and part of that being, you know, is it a boy or girl? It just seems like something, like a special moment for us that we'll really treasure. And I guess the last thing is that we don't have a preference. Neither one of us had a really strong desire for a boy or girl first or anything like that. It'd be cool if it was a boy because my in-laws already have 2 granddaughters, so this would be the first grandson. My parents don't have any grandchildren yet, so it doesn't matter there. Also, Mike and I both come from families where the oldest child was a girl. That's me and my sister-in-law on Mike's side. And yeah, I think sometimes people sort of have an ideal that a boy is best to have first, so to be sort of like a protector or something. But I think oldest girls are, you know, really like, not to flatter myself here, but I think we tend to be, you know, capable and independent and smart, and I think those are all good qualities to nurture in any child, but I think especially in girls. So totally, either way would be great with us. All that aside, so we are definitely not going to find out unless somebody slips up. I had a dream that an ultrasound tech slipped up and showed us paperwork, and it said boy, and I was really mad. I wasn't mad that it was a boy, that's great, but I was really mad that, you know, they ruined that moment. So I'm just crossing my fingers that when the time comes, we'll be able to, you know, have things the way we'd like them to be at that appointment. So anyway, I've been speculating sort of all along, very, very early on, like right when we found out we were pregnant, I had a feeling that this baby would be a boy. But over time that has faded a little bit. I have had more dreams of having a baby girl. Also, my cravings, I have been craving a lot of citrus, which people say means girl, but I also crave a lot of like sour and salty things, I think just because that's what I like. So, and people say that's more a boy, so whatever. It's all totally up in the air. My husband says he has no gut feeling, and he doesn't even really like speculating about it, because he said the whole point of not finding out is so that we don't lay all of our expectations, you know, out ahead of that child. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we found out, it can be tempting to sort of form an idea in your head of what that child will be like. You know, the type of things that they'll be into, or maybe some of their personality traits. But when you just keep it a clean slate, then, you know, when that child is here, you just find out how they really are. I don't know, whatever. So I guess that's pretty much everything that went into our decision-making process. I'd be happy to answer questions if anyone has any about our process, or, you know, anything about this in general. Again, I haven't tried to express an opinion to sort of denigrate anybody else's decisions or opinions. I just wanted to share what we came to, because I feel like there's not a whole lot on YouTube sort of talking about why you might not find out the sex. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. At least it'll help you understand our journey a little bit more. Thanks for watching, everybody.